My name is Dr. Kevin Pecca. I wanted to make a podcast that exposes people to the true miracles of life and health. All the guests on this show have been specially picked because they bring something positive to the world. They have some of the most amazing and inspiring life stories. These people have a passion for living, healing, and leaving the world better than they found it. There is something inside these people that made them keep fighting through all the tough times, even when people told them it was not possible. They carried on and made their lives beautiful again. And now they are sharing their experiences with the world. This is the Expect Miracles podcast. Enjoy the show. Sam Guastella is a former D1 basketball star out of Quinnipiac University and current professional basketball player in Luxembourg. Her career has brought her all around the world and has led her to some amazing life experiences. She has been living out her dream of becoming a professional basketball player and is having the time of her life doing it. Please welcome Sam Guastella. All right, Sam. Honor to have you on the podcast today.
Thanks. Excited to be here.
Oh, yeah. Where are you from?
So I'm from Red Bank, born and raised there.
Red Bank, New Jersey. Beautiful.
That's right. Yeah.
And did you play basketball your entire life? Or?
I kind of grew up playing lacrosse more. My dad went to Montclair State, and he was a lax player. And my brother, who you know very well,
Pete's
great
a
lacrosse
legend.
player. He is a legend.
I love Pete.
Yeah, me too.
So, when did you make the transition over to basketball?
So I grew up playing lacrosse and soccer. I was a goalie my whole life. And then
Oh, wow. So basketball wasn't even in the picture.
No, I mean, I played a little rec. Wasn't super, I liked it. I had fun. I was on a co-ed team with my brother growing up in the River Plaza League and stuff like that. But
awesome.
Kind of had a growth spurt in 6th, 7th grade and was like, this could be pretty good for me. Could be a fit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So basically I went to St. James in Red Bank and played youth ball there, and then knew I wanted to go to Red Bank Catholic.
Obviously. It's the obvious choice.
The only choice. And then going into high school, I remember sitting down with my dad being like, so do you think I can make the freshman team for basketball? Is that plausible? And he was like, I think if you work hard. They're pretty good though. So
yeah, they are good.
Yeah. He's like, work hard. I'm sure maybe you can make freshman. And then wound up making JV. So
wow, you skipped freshman ball?
Mm-hmm. I skipped freshman, went right to JV, and was a swinger for JV and varsity my freshman year.
Did a little swinging?
Yeah. Didn't play much. Was an awesome water girl my freshman year. Was
Beautiful.
Really into it. Loved it.
Got to start out somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. It was fun.
Well, they have pretty much one of the best programs in the state, right?
Yeah, when I was there as a freshman, the senior class was Christina Danella, Christina Coppolino, Kim Talbot, Kat Fox, Caroline Gabriel. So they were just girls that could all play. I was kind of honored to be associated with them, and I had looked up to them growing up. So just to wear the same jersey as them was fun.
And when did you realize that you're getting pretty good at this thing and you might be able to go somewhere? Well,
so I remember my freshman year, I was going into spring season, so for lacrosse, and Joe Montana was like, what AAU team are you playing for? And I was like, AAU. And I was like, I don't know. I was kind of playing for, the New Jersey Sting, which was at a home deal, but their B team, because they would let me not practice at all and just play tournaments because of lacrosse.
Okay.
So, and then I wound up switching to a coach's choice team at New Brunswick. So I was basically another team that would just let me focus on lacrosse, but kind of do some basketball stuff.
So did you play lacrosse all 4 years too?
No, I only played 2 years of lacrosse.
Okay.
So going into my sophomore year, I was sixth man on varsity and really getting a lot of minutes. And I remember Joe Montano sat me down again for a meeting and was like, so college basketball, what are you thinking? And I was like,
thinking about it.
And I was like, fun to watch. March Madness is cool. What are you getting at? And he was like, where would you want to play? And I was like, me. Got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So basically, I kind of figured out my sophomore year that I guess he had been hearing from some coaches and that he had seen a lot in me, and he pushed me incredibly hard. I had a fun relationship for a couple years. We're good buddies now.
Good. Yeah. He's intense, right?
He's intense. My name for 2 full seasons was Goddamn You, Sam Guastella. So that was fun. But only made me better. Yeah. So basically my sophomore year is when I started getting recruited for basketball.
Awesome. And then did you guys win any state championships at RBC?
No. We won a division once, but no, we didn't. We weren't. My group was really strong in the conference. Yeah. We wound up finishing with almost 20 D1 girls in the conference.
What?
Yeah. So we would play starting fives. Bianni would have all 5 were D1 girls. And then we'd play Rumson, who had 5 there too. So it was super competitive, which I think is what really got me ready for college sports because of how great our conference was.
So how'd you end up picking Quinnipiac?
So basically, my dad was amazing in the process because he knew how stressed I was and how academics were really important for me too. I never really was just a basketball player or an athlete. I kind of was everything, and school was really important to me. So basically, he was super realistic at the point he was like, okay, like let's narrow this down to city, rural, suburb.
There you go. That's a good way to look at it.
See one of each, yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember Pete was at McDaniel at the time, my brother, so he was in Maryland, and my dad was like, that's pretty rural. Like, why don't we check out Mount St. Mary's? They've been calling a lot. Mm-hmm. Went there. I was like, cows, fields. No,
not me.
Not me. Cool program, just wasn't for me. And then wound up, I checked out Monmouth, which suburb near the beach, and I was like, this is fun. This is close to home. I could
very close to home, yeah.
I think a little too close to home. Yeah. I went to Fordham, saw the city, and was like, good God, the Bronx is not for me.
Yeah.
Super cool, but just, and then went up to Quinnipiac, and honestly, it was like the stars aligned and everything worked perfectly. It was like the rainiest day I've ever experienced of torrential downpour, the worst ride up there.
What month was it?
It was the fall, so I think it was like October.
Okay.
Yeah, which is beautiful there because the foliage and everything, but I got up there and I was like, the coaching staff was incredible. The arena was brand new. Mm-hmm. The health science program was insane, and I'm super into science, and that was really my passion. So I was like, I really want to be somewhere. Science program, and honestly, the coaching staff and I just clicked. So Quinnipiac was it was almost easy. Like I got in the car, and my dad was like, "So what do you think?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll go here." He was like,
beautiful.
Yeah.
And how did the next 4 years play out there? Was it everything you thought it was going to be?
So much more, honestly. I came into a program that had just a great coaching staff and was kind of up and coming, had only been D1 since 2000. So I wanted to go somewhere where I knew I could play. And we had a decent first year, picked off some big teams. And then my sophomore and my senior year, we went undefeated, won 2 championships in the conference, went to the NCAA tournament twice.
Wow. That must have been like an insane experience going to the NCAA tournament.
Nothing cooler. I mean, my first time doing it, it was our school's first time doing it, men or women.
Yeah.
So that was just insane. We went down to Maryland, played Maryland at Maryland, had a tight first half like with them, and we were really competing. So that was just insanely fun. What
was it like playing like a huge school like Maryland? Like,
we had actually
what's the thought process going in there? Like,
it's tough. It's really tough. My sophomore year, I think it was. Yeah, we played a couple big name schools and actually wound up picking a few off. Like my freshman year, we beat Minnesota and St. Mary's College out in Cali in a tournament. And then sophomore year, we beat St. John's actually, which was huge for us. So we were kind of getting to that bigger name school. We were like close to it, but preparing for Maryland, like we had practice players come in that were just like, we had an ex-NBA player come in who was like a coach on the men's staff who was like enormous. So we're like, all right, let's try to guard him if we can guard these girls. Yeah, it was a close game in the first half, but I remember I'm almost 6'2", and I was guarding a girl who was close to 6'5", and like just probably like 235, like she's a big girl.
Oh,
I was like battling in the low post with her, and she's just like poof, and I'm down on the ground.
Who was that one girl at Baylor that was like 6'8"?
Oh, Brittany Griner.
Yeah.
We didn't have to play her.
Oh my God, yeah.
But we were playing girls that and then they were that big and then can go shoot the 3. So you're like, oh, fun. Okay, so this is going to be a long day.
Cool. So what was your thought process as school was winding down? Were you thinking about getting a regular job, or were you just like, I'm going to play some ball?
Yeah, so it's kind of feels similar to how I was in high school about college basketball, about playing pro. I just didn't really know much about it. I didn't think that I was good enough to play. I didn't really know how many leagues there were. And I just remember my senior year, I had a really strong senior year, shot the ball really well. And I got invited down to the Final Four at Tampa. That year was being hosted there, and they have a pro combine where they bring in European agents and WNBA agents and kind of just like the mix of everything. And I got invited to that and showed up. Just like girls were just so good.
Yeah, just like unreal.
Wisconsin, Baylor, Louisville. These girls are big name, and they're like, "Where are you from?" I'm like, "Oh, Quinnipiac."
Yeah.
And it was a really cool experience. I wound up getting decent exposure there, and then through a friend, got picked up by an agent who was German. She was like, you could really play overseas with your height and the way you move. And I was like,
really? Beautiful.
Okay, well, I was just thinking about going on an interview for a medical device sales job, but this is cool. Like, that'll still be there. That field exists. But yeah, so then I remember I was like at senior week for graduation, just like partying, having a blast. And I'm like checking my email, like getting some looks in France and Germany. And I was like, what's going on? I guess this is actually a real thing.
Yeah. Was your first stop Luxembourg, or you played somewhere else before that?
My first stop was Luxembourg. So I got offered, my first team here was called Guastella. It was in Edelbrook, which is the north of Luxembourg. And Luxembourg sits right between Germany, France, Belgium. Everyone gets a little confused geographically where it is, but tiny little country.
How tiny is it? Like, can you be, like, how far, or does it go across country?
So it's actually the size of Rhode Island.
Wow.
So it's really small.
What was your first experience like getting off the plane and was that your first time in Europe?
No, I had been in Italy and traveled around there. And then I had just did a European tour with some friends after graduation. I was familiar with Europe. It was my first time like really traveling alone though. Yeah. And it was tough. Like I'm such a family girl and like my parents and I are really close to my brother. So those goodbyes were not easy. Oh yeah, I'm sure they were rough. But once I got off the plane and I was like, the country was beautiful. People were super nice. Definitely really different than home. It was interesting. I got off the plane.
They speak over there?
So they actually speak Luxembourgish.
No
which
way.
Is a language. Yeah. But so they grow up learning basically 4 languages. They speak Luxembourgish in their homes, and then they're in school learning French and German and English.
Wow.
So basically anywhere between like our age and like our parents' age can speak English also, because they learn that in about high school and get pretty good at it in college and everything.
They're just wicked smart people, like just way better than us.
Insane. Yeah. Here's my thought about this though. If we had to know a different language to go from here to Boston, we would probably learn it.
Absolutely.
So for us, I get kind of upset about us, and I'm like, I don't speak a second language. I'm a dumb American.
I used to think I was fluent in Spanish until I went to Costa Rica and realized I absolutely know nothing.
Right? That's so funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of my thought. But they're super intelligent. They speak a lot of languages.
But you can get by with English over there.
You totally can get by with English. I make an effort to kind of know some little phrases and things so that they know that I'm trying. Yeah, and then
I'm sure they appreciate that.
They do. They totally appreciate the effort. And like being able to be at a restaurant and kind of speak a little bit with wait staff and things like that, they definitely appreciate, and makes my life a little bit easier.
Are you fluent yet or what?
Oh my gosh, no, not at all. It's so difficult. It's such a difficult language. I can read menus pretty well in French. That's like I'm like, when it comes to food, I'm totally a foodie. So I was like, I got to be able to know what I'm eating. So that's been fun. Yeah. So that's kind of fun.
Awesome. So you've been over 3 years. What was your first year like over there?
My first year was incredible.
Was Sarah there at that point too?
No, Sarah was finishing up at Monmouth. So she was finishing up at Monmouth. Yeah, so I was with a different team that I'm playing on now. I was with a team called Guastella, and we wound up winning the Cup championship as a rookie, which was just like insanely fun. And my brother was out for it. It was his first time in Europe, and he was there for the championship games.
Are you the only American girl on the team?
My first year, there was 2 of us.
Okay. Must have made it a little easier.
So much fun. So my first roommate was from Montana. She went to University of Montana.
Wow.
She was kind of a veteran, had played a couple years overseas. So her and I are super close too. But it was just funny getting off the plane and meeting her. And she's like, starts a conversation like, you ever been to a cattle branding? And I'm like,
I was going to say, like, Montana's a completely different world in itself.
We might as well be from 2 different countries. Just both speaking English was nice.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So she was incredible. And she wound up getting a coaching job and deciding to leave at Christmas. So I went through 3 roommates and 3 different Americans in that season, all 3 of which are incredible people who I'm so lucky to have met. And they're all kind of in different places in their life all over the world, which I'm glad I get to reconnect with them. But so that was fun. We won the championship. I had an absolute blast my first year.
Awesome. And then when did Sarah join you?
So Sarah joined me this past year. So I went home after my first year at Guastella. I was like so sold on coming back to Luxembourg, had an awesome time. And then there were some financial issues with my club that we're not able to pay to have another 2 pros again. So I was bummed about that. And then signed a contract to go to Australia for a second year. But the funny thing about the Australian season is it's during their winter time, which is our summertime.
Okay.
So I would have had kind of the whole fall and winter to do nothing or to work here and try to. Yeah. So I was like, wound up switching agents, and then some issues happened. So that was kind of my own. And last second, it was Labor Day weekend, and I got a call from my new agent who was like, hey, how'd you like Luxembourg? And I said, I loved it. And she was like, do you want to play for a different team? It would be a team that you played against last year. And I was like, yeah, but I leave for Australia in March. And they're like, they're cool with it. They'll let you stay until you have to leave. So I was like, boom, let's do it. I jumped on a plane the next day. Like, I just packed all my stuff. I was like, going to Luxembourg. My parents were like, what in God's...
Wait, hold on. So did you play in Australia?
I did. So I did.
You are living the fucking dream. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, so I got to play a few months in Luxembourg again last year, which is the playing with now. They're called Dudelange T71. So I left from T71. I got on a plane the end of January. Yeah, the end of January. And then Feb, I was in Australia and played 3 months there. And it was...
You packed up all your stuff in like 10 minutes and then just like went on a plane and was like...
Literally, my agent called me at night and was like, or during the day and was like, hey, do you want to play in Luxembourg? You leave tomorrow. Yes. Your flight leaves at 6. And I was like, rock on. I got to talk to you later.
Awesome.
And my parents were like, you're psychotic. But I was like, gotta go. Living the dream.
So awesome. How was Australia?
Yeah. Australia was absolutely incredible. I was right in Melbourne.
Okay.
And absolutely loved the people. It's kind of crazy how, I don't know, we all picture Australia like the beach and warm and your summer all year round. But Melbourne has a very, very much 4 seasons. And and all 4 seasons can be in one day, which is insane.
Really?
You can wake up and it's like 75 and sunny, and then by like lunchtime it's raining and like 50 degrees, and you're like, wait, what just happened?
Holy shit.
Yeah, but I was there at the end of their summertime, which was like our dead of winter. So I was really spoiled.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, so the weather was incredible. People were really nice. I wound up having a really minor foot injury that was just needed a lot of rest. They thought I might have needed surgery. It was just needed rest. And it wound up not being the best situation for me to stay. So I wound up leaving in April. I flew back to Luxembourg and signed a contract for the next year.
That's so insane.
Yeah. So I just kind of flew around. And then I was back in Luxembourg in May or April. And I was like, all right, let me go travel. So then I just checked off a couple more countries off my list.
Where did you go?
I did.
And / what has your favorite place been over there?
Gosh, difficult. Okay, so right now I have seen 23 countries. My goal is to see 25 before I turn 25 in May.
Okay.
So that's kind of, that's my bucket list thing. But when I traveled last spring, I went to Budapest, Prague, bounced around France a little bit. So I kind of did that at the end of the season. But I think, so it kind of depends on what climate you think you're talking about, but Copenhagen, Denmark is probably my favorite city of all time.
Really?
It is just has this like indescribable, like intangible thing about it that just, it's so beautiful. And the people are really nice. I've been 3 or 4 times now because.
Have you been to Oktoberfest over there? Over in Germany?
So I've done it in Luxembourg because like on the border, we're on the German border. So there's like a ton of Oktoberfest parties here. I've never gone to like Munich and done it there because of the season. But I've like worn the dirndl dress and gone with people with lederhosen and the whole thing.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, I brought back some huge pint glasses from there.
Beautiful.
Yeah, this is my Christmas gift.
That's great.
Yeah, so I loved Copenhagen. I have to say, like beach-wise, I think Greece, like Santorini, is one of my favorite beaches I've seen.
Have you been to Croatia?
I haven't been to Croatia. That's on my list.
Definitely.
I'd love to check that out. I did Prague for New Year's, which was like the most magical city I think I've seen because it's like fireworks and then nothing was destroyed in the war. So all of the architecture is just ancient and incredible.
I have to look at a map because like you've named like 3 or 4 places where I just don't know where they are.
No, that's okay. I'm like learning as I go and I learn more that I'm like, wow, I really don't know geography because America really doesn't learn it. We just don't make it important.
Oh, have you been to that Luxembourg castle?
A few times.
Okay, so there are 2 chairs in my mom's living room that are from the castle of Luxembourg, and supposedly my great-grandmother grew up in it.
Are you kidding?
I don't know like what's going on there, but yeah, there's 2 chairs from the castle. So I don't know. Have you tried to drop my name over there yet? You might.
I really should. Maybe I can meet some people. Wow, this is exciting. But kind of my favorite place in Luxembourg that's like near and dear to me is there's a castle. It's called Vianden, and it's in the north of Luxembourg. I get a lot of crap because everyone who visits me, I'm like, we got to go check this castle out. America doesn't understand what architecture is until you see the castle. And like history, everyone here is like, why the castle? I'm like, we don't have castles. The closest thing we have is like Disney World, and that doesn't count. It's not a castle.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think I've been almost 15 times. It's only about 45 minutes from my place, but it's just super beautiful, and I love it. I could just sit there for hours and hang out and look at the view.
There you go. Yeah. So when's the season over for you, like this year?
So it's kind of later this year. We're in second place right now. We're doing great. So it looks like hopefully, we'll make the top 4 hopefully if we win a few more games. Final 4 starts in the beginning of May. And then it's 3 games. It's best a 3-game series. So basically if we go to a 3rd game in the championship, it can go till May 26th, as late as that.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so basically after that, it'll be travel a bunch and head home for a Jersey summer.
And so are you just going to keep this ball rolling for as long as you can? Because no?
Sadly, my body has just been going through a lot. I just don't get made to play too much longer.
Yeah. Is it your foot?
My feet, my Achilles are really bad. My knees are not great. It's kind of all the basketball normal things. But yeah, so I'm kind of feeling like, felt a lot of signs that this is probably going to be my last year. I'm going to retire and head back to Jersey. But yeah, it's been awesome.
What do you want to do? Do you want to do something with science again, or?
Yeah, so I'm thinking medical device sales would be really cool for me. Total people person, love anything sales related, I think would be cool. And
awesome.
I really love surgery. So if I could be in on surgeries with doctors.
You should just be a surgeon.
I know. That's a lot of work.
Yeah, it goes by fast though.
Yeah. I know I think about it, but I'm leaning towards that. I did a lot of lab work in college. So I do like the lab stuff. I find myself like talking to myself because there's no one to talk to while you're in the lab. Yeah. So I think sales would be a really good avenue for me to go.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you got a couple more months. You're just going to enjoy it, travel around a little more.
That's exactly it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so pumped for you.
Super fun. Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on. This is a great episode. Loved it.
Thanks. I'm so glad I got to do this.
Yeah. So you'll be back home July, June?
Early June for sure. I'll be back.
Beautiful. We'll have to hit up some Parker House, get it going.
Great. Right when the weather starts getting nice, huh?
Absolutely.
Have a day.
Yeah. Have a day.
Love it.
All right, Sam. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Best of luck for the rest of the season.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. My private practice is located in New Jersey at Montclair Upper Cervical Chiropractic. If you have any additional questions about today's podcast, other episodes, or any questions about Blair Upper Cervical Chiropractic in general, feel free to visit my website at drkevinpecca.com or subscribe to my YouTube channel at Dr. Kevin Pecca. Hope you enjoyed the show. Cheers.